So here's the video of me making my anvil. I've been working on this since mid-April. So you can see the bottom right is the orthographic drawing of the anvil, what it's going to look like. Kind of like I based it off a Coleslaw C51 pattern anvil. You could see that right there. Originally I wanted to do it like a level horn with the face and all that stuff, but I decided against that. I put it in a step eventually. And I also changed up the feet, so the bottom half of the anvil kind of looks like an Austrian pattern, like what you can see in that picture. So right now I was just marking out laying out the anvil horn, one of the horns, and right now I'm cutting it out. And now I'm end milling it. I of course end milled both sides to get it accurately, so I could lay it out accurately and later cut it. So the entire anvil is made out of 1.5 by 3.5 inch flat bar, just cold hot roll mild steel, so just nothing special for the anvil body. And of course I went through all of this. I did what you're seeing here for all the pieces, so altogether and the main body was, not including the feet and the top plate, was welded from 6 pieces. And all those pieces were just welded together afterwards. You'll see that later. So there was a lot of machining in this project for sure. I probably spent more time machining than anything else. And also a lot of time cutting, because this stuff is quite thick, 1.5 inch. 1.5 is quite thick, so the saw wasn't moving very quickly. Each cut probably took me 10 minutes, so yeah. There was a lot of cutting time. And of course I had to babysit the saw, because I did this at school, and so there's certain rules you have to follow, whatever. You can't leave machines running unattended. You can see I have one of the horns laid out, and I'm cutting it diagonally. Once it's cut diagonally, I'm simply gonna chamfer it, fold it over, and weld it together, because it's only 1.5 inches thick. So once I fold it over, it's gonna be 3 inches thick, and that's what I want, because that's like 3 inches is minimum for a useful anvil face, I think. Right here is the anvil body, or this is like half of the body. On the bottom right is the original ortho drawing. I originally included a side horn, but I decided against that because I thought it might just get in the way, so if I ever do need it, I'll just weld it on, but for now I don't think I will need it, so I'm not gonna put that in there. This next part is me making the feet, and the feet are kind of like an Austrian anvil, how an Austrian anvil has the feet. Stepped and quite wide. Mine aren't quite so wide, I didn't have the material for it, but mine ended up being something like 10 inches wide total, or yeah, 10 inches wide total by 4 inches long. So they extended off the anvil 4 inches, and on each end they were 10 inches. You can see I had to fix up the feet because I couldn't, I didn't cut them how I wanted them, and I couldn't really put them in the mill. Well, I guess I probably could put it in the mill, but to clamp it up and everything, so I just put it in the vise and I filed it down. You can see I'm laying it out. Originally I wanted to put a recess in the feet, like a 1/2 inch recess, so when it connects to the body, it'd be connected on 3 sides. But I didn't weld it on 3 sides, I forgot to mill it in once I was welding the feet, so I didn't put that in. The bottom piece, the anvil feet were basically made out of 3 pieces, so there were 4 steps. One of those steps was just milled in, and the next 2 were welded on. You'll see what I mean later with this if you don't understand it right now. But you can see there was a lot of cuts in this, and yeah, cutting took a long time. So this is everything after it's been machined. Basically all the machining is done. You can see the anvil main body is made out of 4 pieces. Just putting those together. You could see I also put the kind of fullering marks. I machined those in there. Putting the feet together. You can see the anvils I based it off of. Just one of those, another one of those Austrian pattern anvils with those really nice stepped feet. And of course, there you can see it, the anvil, before any chamfering and welding. So the next step was to chamfer everything and weld it together. The chamfers were probably 3/4 of an inch into the material on almost every side. And I put that in with my 5-inch Makita grinder. Originally I used the school's grinder because I was using all the school's equipment up until this point, but they had 2 Mastercraft grinders, and Mastercraft is of course Canadian Tire's home brand, and they're quite cheap tools, and they're really not good tools, and I burned up 2 of them, both using them for probably around half an hour. One was kind of old, one was brand new, so yeah, if you count it like that, you buy those 2 grinders for $80, $40 each when they're not on sale, versus a better grinder like a DeWalt or Makita, which on the cheaper end is $80. You're really not saving any money, especially if you only get half an hour of use out of those things. Anyway, here you can see I'm just putting in all the chamfers, and I probably spent 5 hours doing the chamfers total for this build. If I were to do it again, I have a 7-inch grinder. I would have just done it with the 7-inch grinder, but I didn't put any video of me welding. Here you can see it all welded up. You can see this picture, the top plate is in there. The top plate is 4140, 1/2 inch thick. And I did all the welding with 7018 1/8 inch electrode. The reason I did it like that is because, well, originally I wanted to do a root pass with something like 6011 just to get really good penetration, but I did have the rods, but they were kind of not welding right, so I just did it all with 7018. And so you can see I'm doing this at home. I managed to finish the welding on the last day of school, and so I brought it home. I brought the anvil home and I did the grinding at home. This picture, you can see the horn is still square, what's going to be the round horn. I ground that off with a 7-inch grinder, but you can see also the rebound is quite good. The anvil's not dead, so it welded right. And there it is. You can see the horn's ground. It didn't take too long with the 7-inch grinder. And next video is heat treating, so subscribe, like, and comment, and make sure to subscribe so you'll see the heat treating part, which is going to be very cool, I think.